I see, Joe will get the attendance down for the, for the minutes. There's no, since this is a special meeting, we really should keep with the, keep with the agenda. We really can't talk about anything but the GMP and the discussion, and I'll let the main hub take over.
All right, I can, sure. I'm just pulling up the agenda right here. I think we wanted to talk about an update on the GMP.
I think that was it. That was it. That was the only item on the agenda. So you review the GMP.
So, Andrew, or do you want to bring us up to date on that?
Sure. Since last week's meeting, based on the decision to include alternate number 1 for the new or the re-roofing of the existing building, we've incorporated that alternate into the actual body of the GMP. And then we also made the adjustment for the state permit fee, the education fee, which is 28 cents per $1,000. So that really only impacted it by $5,000. So with that, we provided Gene with an updated overall GMP. The bottom line number is now $20,235,000. We did receive some comments from both Joe and Eugene last Friday, and Joe, myself, Eugene, Phil Mazzotti, and Tiger Man jumped on a call yesterday and reviewed those comments. Primarily, those comments were revolving around some of the clarifications and assumptions, and we have incorporated their comments into the current version of Schedule C, which is the clarifications and assumptions. So I don't want to speak for Gene or Joe, but I think we're all on the same page amongst that group with any comments that have been made to date on the current GMP submission. So I guess the question is if there are any other additional comments.
Do you have a screen that you can share with the new numbers?
Yes.
Or hand out for today?
I sure can. Just give me a minute.
This sort of last week's plus the 360, basically. Plus 5. Right? It's this plus the roof.
Well, and plus the fee. Where I'm not sure where did the fee go.
5,000, please, Joe.
Looks like it's yellow there.
Sorry, hold on one second. My screen sharing is acting up.
Hey, Andrew, can you just review the total amount of contingency we have in the projects? I think that's where the tweak is, right? Putting the roof in and staying within the goals of the cost of the project gives us a tighter contingency, slightly tighter contingency. Is that correct?
No. Well, that would be a question more for Gene, I believe. We still are maintaining. Can you see?
Yes, we got it.
What do you see right now?
We see the
Excel file.
the
Okay.
numbers.
All right. I apologize. Okay, so we still have the construction contingency at 4%.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have these two columns here. This is the holdbacks that we had discussed last week of 336,000 and the 85,000 in allowances. So those are the amounts that are included within the GMP itself. And then I can let Gene chime in on what you have within the overall budget for the project, below the line.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going off of memory here until I get to my office, but I think last time we spoke, we had about $2.2 million when we incorporated the roof that dropped the contingency to about 1.9. Joe, I don't know, can you confirm that on that spreadsheet I sent you?
Correct, you were at 2.2 and now it's 2.2 minus the roof.
About 360.
1.9.
And the 2.2 includes or doesn't include the 700,000 construction contingency, because the construction contingency is basically Turner's contingency, right?
Those are
That
separate.
right there, that's 703.
Yep.
Right there, the construction contingency is part of that 20,235,000.
Right, they're two
Oh.
independent
Yeah,
contingencies.
Is it part of Gene's 2.2 million?
No,
no, it's
I
not.
think it's
part of that.
1.9. Now, it does not include mine or the town's contingency. I think we're at 1.9 now, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Correct.
1.9 plus the CM contingency. And they're obviously they're used and drawn upon off of two different scenarios or situations. So as I think most people know, the owner's contingency is really to fund things that are outside the GMP and soft cost items. And the CM contingency is to manage their risk to a degree. As contractually noted, there are things that they can and cannot do in there.
So basically, we paid for the roof out of the owner's contingencies and that net of that.
That's what you did, yeah, to keep the budget at 20 million. Or 20.
Right. So we basically have 2.6 million of contingency and a 30 million project.
No, we're still at 29, I think it was.
$20 million. Does anybody have the math about what percentage contingency that is?
It's just 10, it's just about 10.
Just
It could
slightly.
be a little bit more than that.
Just
though.
all plus the 400,000 of your holdbacks.
Right, but that's always sort of right. That's not continued, considered contingency.
And 29, 256 is like just under 10%.
Yeah, it's 8.999%. It's 9%.
Right, oh, yeah. So we're a little bit light.
Yeah.
On that, which will, if we should tell the Board of Selectmen.
And that was from our discussion last week.
Right,
We said,
right, I'm
Let's
just
go
saying.
light and say, do the whole project, including the roof, and giving people the heads up that we'll try to make contingency, but we'll know by early spring. Cause all the risky items are kind of
Found.
found.
Right.
So by early spring, we'll know if we're in good shape.
Right, when we open up the building and see what else is in there.
Yeah.
Right, and so this contingency has us with 3 locked cells and 2 other spaces that we're still trying to determine how we can use appropriately.
Brian Humes and I have worked that out.
Okay, so we're good on that with respect to,
Yes.
100% resolved, no issues.
Well, we haven't gotten it signed off by the building permit yet, but we believe that we
Our
can.
building permit, this
Our
side of the
building.
state.
Town.
Okay,
But-
but you just had discussions with them, right? And they're
Yeah.
in the loop.
It's my understanding, Brian Humes can speak this, but there isn't necessarily a state building permit. The state advisor is advising our building permit, our building representative, Brian Platts.
Right,
And Brian Platts is the one that signs off on the building permit. So once Brian Platts signs off the building permit, he's confident that we're meeting state code.
he's been in these discussions, obviously, okay. Okay. Brian Humes, that your understanding, that's good?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
just, we just don't want to be putting forth something to
And
the
have a
town.
snag,
that
and have a
is an issue.
snag, have a snag later.
No, actually, I think you're in a good position because we have also heard from the state that one of the modification requests that we had submitted came back approved. So we will be modifying some electrical scope, which would be a credit to the project, not an add to the project. So I think we have good news.
okay, so when you'll report to us at the appropriate time when the negotiations are done, exactly what we can do with those spaces.
Correct.
But anyway, the police are good, you're
Yes.
gonna meet code,
Yes.
okay.
What's the timeline on that to have Brian Platts sign off on it?
We are currently preparing signed and sealed drawings. And Turner is preparing the building permit, so we have to formally apply. And we're looking to get a permit between now and Thanksgiving.
That long. That long?
It's only because
That's what we need to do.
that was the schedule.
Okay. Yeah, but 2 months, yeah.
Yeah, 2 months.
Okay, so did we, any other discussion about, the GMP amendment? Any questions?
I'm happy with that. I think that's was the right route to take on this.
And I think there's a sense that we've been very conservative in many projects with our contingency, so maybe this is a little less conservative, but as long as people know where we are, I think it's fine, just full
Right.
disclosure.
Town council approved the 15% contingency after about a year's worth of negotiations. That's what we kept as a standard.
Oh, I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying that,
Make the project bigger and we could add more contingency. It's very simple. It's just a math problem.
I guess one question I have is how are we on our budget for furnishing the equipment, furnishing the police station at the end with all the equipment that we're gonna need?
So right now, we haven't done that work, it's that's what we typically
Do
have.
at this point, but I guess it would
Not at
be in
this
the,
point, but it's in the soft costs.
be in the soft cost.
And right now, in the soft costs, we are paying $600,000 for the new version.
So what does that mean for we have some of these rooms, for specialized training? That requires some audio, visual, or whatever.
I don't think that's it.
That hasn't been, that's only one room, that's.
Right.
A very
One room,
small portion of what we're talking, yeah.
but has any budget been included for that room, or is that
No,
gonna
we're
be
still,
come out? of
we're still
contingency?
evaluating what would be best suited for that. As technology is changing rapidly, we're deciding what would be best suited for the technology. But we don't have.
So we don't have any placeholder?
We have a
for-
placeholder for $330,000 for a virtual training system.
Okay, that is in the budget, okay, but we just have obvious stuff.
We don't have any real cost for that pending.
That's not in the FF&E though, right?
That's in the,
It's in the soft
It's
cost.
in the stock cost.
okay, so that's something we're still evaluating. So
Yeah.
We haven't purchased.
there very
No.
much be a cost savings to the
Yeah,
project
it's gonna be-
in a big way.
Okay, so we're, all right, is there anything else that we haven't covered in this budget that we know of?
No, I think the budget's all inclusive for all the soft costs. For the overall budget cost of the 29 million.
Okay, so we have an overall budget cost of 29 million and a GMP of 20,235,000. Is that his number?
Yes.
That's much good.
Okay,
That's me comparing it to the as bid fee. It's not checking the fee.
okay.
Who's got $235 they can put on the table, so it's a 20 million even.
No one, we need it all. All right, so I have a motion.
I would just like to add one more thing. So we're gonna be hopefully approving the GMP today, which would be the 20,235,000. We had already, just from a process standpoint, we have already approved the pre-purchase of materials, which is also in here, which is $634,211. So when we go to the Board of Selectmen, I will need to just identify the overall GMP is this amount, and that they've already funded $634,211.
And that comes out of the 20,235,000.
Yes,
All right, do you need to vote on that, though, or we've
I
already?
don't need to vote, I think I just wanted to, just somebody really, how come the numbers don't line up with what we approved? It will line with what we approved, it was just that we've already approved the pre-purchase of material, so we've already funded in the town's accounting system the $634,000. So.
Joe, just to be clear, what you were saying wasn't, the audio was a little scrambled. that those pre-purchasers are included in the GMP, correct?
Correct.
Yes, Joe, there was the adder for going from ABB to Schneider. Though, so that's in the GMP, but was not pre-approved by the Board of Selectmen, right?
Correct, there was a little variance from the GMP from that, but just from a pure process standpoint. The town's finance department has already authorized Turner the additional 600 in the Board of Selectmen, the additional 634. So this will kind of either, depending on how the accounting department wants to do it, we'll either void out the 634 or we'll just add the 19,600 to make it the overall project cost for Turner of the 20 million.
The GMP amendment amount is gonna be 20,235,000.
Yes,
All right, so, and has our attorney reviewed, Doug, I guess, reviewed the GMP amendment?
Doug has done an initial pass. He had a couple comments and we've addressed them. So has addressed them. Yes.
Okay, so we had an initial pass, if we need a second pass?
I don't think so, but I can run it by him.
Okay, we just wanna make sure we have his sign off on it before we take it to the Board of Selectmen. Okay, so with the provision that will make certain that our attorney is good with the final language of the GMP, can I have a motion to approve the proposed GMP amendment in the amount of 20,235,000 for the police building project?
And you said the amendment, I'm sorry.
It's a GMP, it's an amendment to the contract
Yeah,
for the
okay,
GMP,
gotcha.
so I call it, is that appropriate?
With
That's appropriate.
GMP amendment to our contract.
I'll make the motion, yes.
Okay, so moved. Do I have a second?
A second.
All right, any discussion? Okay, all in favor? All right, we need to see Paul Tully. Paul Tully. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's unanimous?
Yeah.
All right, is there any other business that was on the agenda as this special meeting? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn? So move, second, all in favor? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Penny.
Sure.